everyone and welcome to the Learning Ladder. Today I'm doing our homeschool favourites of this year. I used to do a series every month. Let me know if you still want me to start doing that again. I just wasn't sure if it was actually worth watching. But the end of the year one I think is always helpful because it shows you what we really liked throughout the whole year and what we continually used. And I think it's also helpful at this time of year when we're all starting to buy things and, you know, for the new school year. Okay, so we'll start with maths first. So one of the items we've really loved this year for help with multiplication is this little wooden multiplication square. So basically you'll take out the block, the answer underneath. It's just, you can use it in multiple ways, and I think it's a really helpful visual, tactile experience, and I think it's been one of our favourites. This 100 square board has been in several of my videos because it's still one of our all-time favourites. When we first got it, we used it to help with skip counting. So basically you would put in the right coin. So say you're practicing twos, you put a 2p in to learn to count in twos. When you were learning to skip count by fives, we do the same thing. And it's just so visually helpful to connect when you're counting to actually seeing the patterns, and it's so useful for so many different things. I still love this now, and we still use it this year, particularly for multiplication patterns and seeing where things line up and everything else. So still 100% loving the learning resources 100 board. The other item we've really loved this year is this fraction tower activity set. So it comes with this stand, and you've got all the fraction cubes here as shown, and then you get all these different little cards. So for example, this one is helping you find fractions equal to 1, and it's so it's amazing because it helps them really see how, you know, how two halves make a whole and how each fraction is equivalent to another, and I think it's so helpful in how much of each fraction we need and everything else. And there is an activity guide, and there are tons of different resources in here and ideas for different ways you can use it. So dividing fractions, subtracting with fractions and mixed numbers, multiplying fractions by unit fractions, and then there are these little cards as well that you get too. So it's got 2 different activities on each side. And I think it's great. It's just been so useful. Add fractions with common denominators, add fractions with unlike denominators, subtract them. It's just been so good. Multiplying fractions and whole numbers. And I love the fact that you can actually see, your child can actually see and manipulate at the same time what they're doing. So this has been one of our favourites too. Place value chart is something else we've really loved this year. I did purchase this ages ago, but I do actually have one on my website, and Teachers Pay Teachers, and it is free still if you want to grab that download. We've been doing up to millions this year, and this is such a great visual aid. We love it. We have loved this so much, and it seems so simplistic, but it's just been so good this year. So it's a little personal whiteboard. I do also have one in the schoolroom, a large one, which we absolutely love too, and that is one of our all-time favourites too. I just can't obviously bring that in; it's huge. But any kind of whiteboard. But this personal one has been so good, particularly for maths. So we can do our workings out on here. I can demonstrate things on here to her. We like to do maths on our cushions on the floor. She has a desk and everything else, but maths is just a subject we like to spread out for. We like to get our manipulatives out. We tend to always do it on the floor with our cushions and spread out. So that's why this is so good for us personally. And she likes to, you know, have a clipboard and just lie down and do a maths worksheet that way, and to me that's absolutely fine. I love the fact that flexible seating is something you can do in homeschool. I remember when I was in school it was just your desk and your chair the whole day, so I love that flexible seating is something we can do and utilise at home. But this has been amazing and it seems so simplistic, but we just loved it so much. Another great thing we've had are these place value dice, and we've had these for a few years now, and we still love them. They're great for different math skills. These ones are the jumbo sized ones, but you know, just regular ones are fine, but we've really enjoyed those too. Pugopoly, any Monopoly will do. We just have this one because my daughter loves pugs, but such a fantastic game to play for math skills. So many different skills for maths: buying things, selling things, paying fines, receiving money, everything else, and particularly making change where it comes to notes and also obviously place value. This has been so fun actually playing the game, but then we just use the notes as well for manipulatives when we're doing different math skills, and then also you can set out a few things that they have to buy, and then if they don't have enough money they need to borrow, and so many different skills that you can use as well as playing the game, which is just as useful too. But I've loved using these notes in our making change and everything else activities. The resource I added this year was the Learning Resources Tackling Tables. So it's got all the tables listed, and this is great for review, especially like during the holidays and things where you want it to just be fun. And it's a little card game that you can play, and it does also cover the division facts too, so you're learning them both at the same time. I think it's so fun, so we definitely have enjoyed this one. So you've got the different colour cards for the different tables. I've really enjoyed this one too. So that's what it looks like in terms of what they all cover: blue, green and red cards, and then it shows you how to do it. So you're covering whichever side that you're wanting to. So you're covering the answer for the multiplication one, you're asking what is that divided by this, and then covering up that, and then again what's the answer. So lots of different ways to practice the same thing, and it makes it more fun that it's a game. I've also really been utilising this multiplication tables mat, not for a mat, but just in our schoolroom as a reference and as a practice, and it's all fun and colourful and just makes learning times tables more interesting. And then the final item in the math section is my worksheet particularly for our morning meeting. This is on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's slightly different on Teachers Pay Teachers than this one because I did tailor it personally to us, but there is a UK and a US currency one on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's more aligned with Saxon, but you can use it for whatever purpose you want. Moving on to language arts, one of our favourite read alouds this year has been Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nimba, and this is so good. I think it's got a lot in there for you as an adult as well as it has for your child, because some of the twists in this book I did not see coming, and I had that open mouth stare at times, which always is a good indication to me that it's a good book. So I definitely recommend that one. We've really enjoyed it. We also have really enjoyed my literature unit studies, and specifically the books that we've used to go along with them. So these are classic tales, but they were illustrated by, I don't know how you say it, Mina Lima or Mina Lima, however, but they're just absolutely stunning books. I just love their interpretations, and so visually appealing with lots of little different flip this, turn this, twist that, and they're just absolutely stunning. But the content is just as enriching as it would be in any other book. It just adds something extra to it. So we've done several of these this year, illustrated by Mina Lima or Mina Lima, and we have loved them so much. We had The Little Mermaid, we've had Beauty and the Beast, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, and The Secret Garden, and I just love them so much. I should have shown this in our maths section, and I just grabbed it now. It's the Osborne Lift the Flap Times Tables book. Again, this was absolutely been fantastic this year. It's so fun to actually go through it, visually appealing. My daughter loves the little games and challenges that are included with it. Definitely recommend that one. And then the Lift the Flap Grammar and Punctuation. Again, this is one that we've loved this year too. So much information in here and presented in such a way that it's so appealing to children, and they learn so much from it. She still thinks it's hysterical, and it was the way that the commas were so clear to her when she read this. I love cooking, my family and my pets. I love cooking, comma, my family and my pets. And when she saw that, something just flicked on in her brain. She's like, oh yeah, the commas are really useful. So definitely recommend this book. Another book we've really enjoyed this year, perhaps more than previous years, is the Merriam-Webster Children's Dictionary by DK. She's now at the age now where she'll actively go and look up words herself because it's fun. And she loves this one because obviously it's illustrated as well and it's easy for them to use. So definitely recommend this one. Curriculum we've really enjoyed this year is the Evermore text-based writing. This is the PDF, but obviously they do have the physical copy too. There are 15 units in this one, so we're looking at informative, explanatory writing prompts. So we're doing science for North American owls, health article with melting pots of food, a science, flowers and insect, the chocolate process, the Venus flytrap, a biography, another science one, a social studies one. So it's such a mixture of different non-fiction articles that you're using. And then the opinion argument, we've got some social studies, health, another biography. And it's just been so fun. So basically what happens is, you get your teacher section. So we've got our unit focus, we have got our vocabulary explanations, and we were also reading the biography, answering questions, organising the information and writing a paragraph. And then this is for the student. So then you have your vocabulary first, and they have their article for reading, some answering questions and drawing. And we get into organise our information, and it's in different ways depending on what the unit's about. This one is a timeline. And then we're writing using information from our timeline and the biography to write our paragraph. But as I said, it's different depending on what the unit is, how they actually have to organise the information. So for example, in the Pass the Salt one, this is how they have to organise it. And I think it's great because they're learning different ways to actually help them learn and take notes, and how, gather information and retain information, and then be able to actually use that information that they've gathered to then write their own paragraph about what they've read. So I really enjoyed this curriculum this year. Really enjoyed using this little spelling dictionary that I made for her. So basically it's all tabbed for her, and then there is a section where it's pre-filled, and then there's pages for her to add her own words to it. And it's been so useful this year for her to actually make the decision as to what words were important to her, that she wanted to make a note of them. So it's given us some independence, because I don't know about your children, but my daughter really is very independent. She likes to do things herself. She likes to be the one who discovers things and finds things out. So having something like this is really good for her, because she has that independence and freedom, and she feels like she's the one who's actually making the discoveries, and she gets really excited about that. And then my final language arts favourite has not been a specific curriculum or anything like that, or a specific resource necessarily, but it's just giving my daughter different ways to complete her assignments. So whether that's lap books, whether it's something like this. So this was a writing activity that we did at Christmas time. Basically she got to write her story, and then she could make something interactive about a story and pop it into the envelope here at the bottom. It's just been so fun. She loved it so much. She's still got a couple of pages left because I did make it rather big. But just giving her lots of different options to present her information, and whether it's written, verbal, drama, animation. That's just something we've really enjoyed this year. For geography, our favourite thing has been my Bon Voyage Adventure Journal activities, which went with Universal Yums and Atlas Crate. So I made these printables, which are still currently free on Teachers Pay Teachers, to go along with our Universal Yum box. So we can look at it. Comes with a little brochure inside that we can get all this information from, a little card. So we're looking at capital city, drawing a landmark, talking about our snacks, finding where it is located, our country that we got in our box. And then Atlas Crate is very similar, where we get to draw an animal though from the country, and answer some more questions about the country. So we've just really loved that, and Universal Yums is one of our favourite subscription boxes. It's just so fantastic. I love it so much. She loves it so much. It's just been the best. Another subscription we have loved this year is Mysteries in Time. This is for history. It has been so fantastic, and I can't wait to use it again next year in more depth. I have actually done an unboxing of what comes in the Mystery in Times box before, and I'll leave a link below if you want to check that out. They do ship internationally, and it's just the best. I just love that one too. And then we've also really enjoyed using our other geography books that we have for our curriculum on our second day of geography. So we've really enjoyed using the Collins Primary Geography this year. This was investigations. So I just love the fact that you actually get to do little case studies. So for example, Unit 6 is caring for the countryside, so we're talking about habitats, then we're doing an investigation ourselves. So it's very hands-on, but they have visually appealing, but there's lots of information in here for them to learn. So this one is about protecting the wildlife. Then we're visiting certain countries. We're in France over here. We're talking about growing food, making cars. So there's so much great information in here. We're on Chile now, South America. We're in the Galapagos Islands. We go to Asia. This is just fantastic. I just love this book so much. And again, the skill sharpener geography has paired so well with it. There were several units in here that were actually in here too, so we could expand on it further. So we've just really enjoyed both of them. Brit Science curriculum this year has been the Good and the Beautiful Mammals unit. We absolutely love that so much. It was the best. This is the PDF. They do have a physical copy as well, but the PDF just works out so well. I absolutely love it, and the fact that they offer so many PDFs is just amazing. We've also really enjoyed this Mammoth Science book. So it goes through all the different areas of science told from the mammoth and the shrew perspective. So we've got matter, life, energy, forces, earth and space, and it's just so fun to go through. So basically learning about combustion, and the mammals are actually teaching it to you, and the shrew is assisting. And it's all based around them, and it's been so fun. Definitely really enjoyed that book. And then finally, some of our best books that we've had this year. So I'm showing you one from the series, but all of the series are fantastic. So the 100 Things to Know About series from Usborne, we have loved this so much. So there are several in this series. There's one about Earth, the planet, there's one history, there's food one, there's a human body one, there's a science one. There's so many in the series, and I hope they make some more because they're just amazing. There's an ocean one, and it's just great for you. But if you do a morning basket or a bedtime basket, you can expand on it. If you want to, if they want find something in here that's interesting to them, they are just amazing. I love them so much. And then the knowledge encyclopedias, I've just got the animal one out, but we have several in this series. My daughter loves the cat encyclopedia, we have the horse encyclopedia, we have got the dinosaur one, we have got the science one, and these are just amazing. The pictures are just stunning. I mean, look at that. It's just so good, and these are something that can grow with your kids. You could use them for the whole entire life of your homeschool journey. They are just fantastic. Definitely worth the investment as far as I'm concerned. Unless your library lets you renew constantly, then I definitely think about adding some of these into your curriculum this year. You can use them for notebooking, you can use them for investigation purposes, you can use them in writing assignments. You can set them assignment to find an animal here that they really like, and do some kind of presentation about it, do a book about it, research on the internet more about it. There's so many different ways you can use these encyclopedias, and I think they are fantastic. So that's everything my favourites this year. I might do another one at the end of the year if I've got anything extra to throw in there for you. So take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.